You made it. Well done. Honestly, I can't tell you how happy I am that you've come this far. And one of my favorite quotes, in fact, is, I didn't come this far to only come this far. And maybe it's true for you, maybe it's not. And at this stage, it doesn't really matter. All I know is that to get this far so far, you've already stepped above and beyond that which most people actually do. Because, you know, every day people have a chance, an opportunity to do something differently, to reach out and learn something new, to grow, to expand. And that's why we're here on this planet in the first place, to continually grow and expand to become that we actually are already. But most don't do it because of doubt, because of fear, because of inner dialogue, chatting away all of the time. But clearly, you're not that person. You saw an opportunity, you made a decision, you clicked a few clicks here and there, and here we are. We're at this stage. New opportunity, new growth, new potential. For me as well, by the way, this is not a one-way street. This is a two-way process. And I'm so very happy you're here. And so sincerely, thank you for the trust and the faith. And also, congratulations for being someone who does something different. And who knows where this might lead. It could be the journey of 1,000 miles. It could be just that we have our free consultation or our free strategy call, I prefer to call it, and connect and get to know each other and see how we may work together to see how I can contribute to your knowledge, your experience, your growth, your willingness, your whatever it might be. And I don't know at this stage what that will be. You see, the people who arrive at this point fall generally, very broadly, generally into two camps. One is someone who's already doing really, really well, but they've reached a point which they just need some distinction, some tweaks, some recalibration to realize there is more resourcefulness inside, as well as the resources which are available in order to get to the next level, the next step in whichever area of life that happens to be. And then there's people in the other camp who maybe you just got stuck with something. Maybe there was what I like to call a life change challenge came along and derailed you or knocked you off your feet or off track. Pick any metaphor that works for you. I've heard most of them at this stage, 20 years in, and they're all just metaphors. They're ways of articulating how we feel at any given point. Whichever camp you're in, it makes no difference, because the genesis of the progress and the growth to the next step is in the same place for both. And that's right here in the amazing, powerful, wonderful human imagination and mind. And that's where the work begins. I love a piece of ancient scripture that says, be not conformed to the world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. Wow! Isn't that amazing that that was written so long ago? And it still stands as true today as it did the day it was written. And that's where the work is. When we change the way we look at things, as Wayne Dyer said, the things that we look at change. So why is this important to understand the power of the mind? And why is it that I focus on this particular part of the sequence of events? If you look at the results of your life right now, whether it's your health and fitness, your relationships, intimate family and friends, whether it's your finances, whether it's your career or business, every result that you have, you created. Ouch, I know, but you know, to really break through and have more growth, we have to first accept responsibility and accountability. So the results that we have came out of and directly proportionate to the actions that we took. And the actions that we took in turn trace back to the decisions that we made about certain things. Now it gets really interesting for me. I love this. I really love this. And when we have our conversation, I really want to get this across. The decisions that we make on a day-to-day basis are driven by the state or the mood that we're in when the time comes to make that decision. And then we can come further back. the mood and the state we're in it's actually governed by three things, but I'm going to save that for another time, perhaps when we have our conversation. But generally speaking, comes from our thinking about whatever that subject happens to be at the time. So if we're in chronic stinking thinking, you can be sure that the decisions we make will stink too. The actions we take will also smell quite badly, and the results we get will stink as well. So can you see the importance of tracing this all the way back to the seed, the beginning? It's like if you take a farmer in the springtime and he drops stinking seeds into the soil, the harvest will stink as well, for sure. And I'm playing around with it a little bit here to keep it light-hearted, because I've just given you a bombshell that the way things are right now is down to you, and the way things are for me are down to me too. But I promise you this: whenever I made significant growth in any area of my life, it's when I sat and reflected and thought, yeah, I did that, I caused that. I can see now. But it takes a bit of practice and a bit of skill to trace back to the thinking part of what happened. And by the way, this sequence of events also applies to the great things, the good things, the great results. And they're more easy to accept, aren't they? It's like, yeah, I did that. Very proud. I did that. You know, so it works both ways. So that's why it's important that we trace it all back to the genesis, the beginning, and we change the fertile soil of the mind, and we learn to plant only the good seeds. Only the good seeds. Because the mind doesn't care what you plant. If you take 2 plant pots and fill it with fertile soil, and put poison ivy in one and a beautiful rose in the other, the soil doesn't care what's in there. It will grow and create and manifest the very substance that you planted in there. And don't for one second think that your mind is any different. It's not. This is why it's so important that we move forward and learn to discern the thinking that we allow to happen on an automatic basis every single day. But I'm going to teach you all of this stuff. I'll show you how to do this. It's actually very, very pleasant and enjoyable. So there is much to look forward to in our strategy call. I'm very excited about it. And in the meantime, you'll receive some confirmations and some reminders. I'll even send you some educational, motivational, inspirational material to keep you engaged and excited as well. And let's see, when we have our conversation, what we can do to get you calibrated, excited for the future that lies ahead. Thanks for coming this far so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Until then, be great, be inspired, and be the change that you want to see in your own world. And I'll see you soon.